I think the biggest thing that pops into my head is creating the financial plan so that this building is here for generations. Financial, sustainability, efficiency, perpetuity. How are we going to do this? How do we make this amazing, historic center of our community protected, strengthened, connected to the resources both in and out of county, in and out of state? How do we make this an exemplar for other rural community centers who are trying to do the same thing for our children and our children's children? How do we give a roadmap so that this keeps working? Rural towns aren't known for moving fast, but mountain time doesn't mean a lack of progress. Here in our tiny township of Spring Creek in Madison County, Western North Carolina, there's a quiet revolution happening in how we work, connect, and take care of each other. Hey there, I'm Anna. This is WNC HeartBEAT, and where we share stories and projects that keep Western North Carolina vibrant. Hallie?
I'm Allie. Before we dive in, take a second to please subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. Every week, we're going to bring you the voices and ideas that really bring our region to life, from community projects to local leaders to the heartbeat behind the work that keeps these mountains moving. You'll hear from folks building businesses, restoring gathering places, proving that big changes in small towns, they don't happen overnight. It happens by working together. I don't know, Anna, let's just jump into it.
I'm recording from home today. Allie's recording from her husband's office. We're making it work.
We're making it work. You might hear like children and husbands' voices in the background, but yeah, we're just going for it.
The noise of life, the noise of life. So if you've been following along, you know Spring Creek's been busy. The Spring Creek Community Center has evolved from a restored schoolhouse that was completely run down and falling in to a living hub of this community, hosting everything from our community market to blood drives to fitness classes, multiple businesses, a great restaurant, a hair salon, a wellness co-op. I could keep going, and I can. But now our new business center is nearly ready, and we're so excited about it. And it's a shared space for local entrepreneurs, remote workers, families to learn, earn, and grow right here at home, which is amazing because we are an hour from everything, pretty much. And one of the key developers in this space was Alice McVeigh, a true treasure to our community, and she'll be on with us soon. So we're excited because Allie and I are there all the time. And we do a lot there. We're both on the board. So we wanted to talk about like how much is going on in this amazing space. So we had a really cool opportunity this year with the Appalachian Regional Commission. And I worked with Alice McVeigh in their strategic planning sessions, and we learned a whole bunch. They taught us a lot about what strategic planning is, and showed us what we need to do to take this center from a renovation space to a what would you call it, Allie? A
A
vibrant
hub. Yeah,
business
it's a
hub.
hub. Like, it sat empty so it was a school for a while, and then it sat empty for a long time. And before you and I came on board, it people came in to start to restore it. And I think we're at, 50%. We want to get to like 80, 90. Like, what can we do to help support our community that lives very remotely, could use ways of generating wealth, of being able to live and work in Spring Creek, to maintain their fitness goals, to run their businesses out of here. I mean, how many people even live in Spring Creek? Like 500?
No, I don't know exactly. That would be a good number to
It's
find
small.
out. But I know we have 600 households.
Okay.
So,
So more than, yeah.
like it's not a lot of folks. It's
No, and spread out too.
yeah, yeah. We cover a lot of ground. We are basically the western lower third of Madison County. And so there's a lot of space out here, which we all love. That's why people move here. It's the
Yeah.
nature and the space. And I was raking leaves yesterday, just basking in the golden sunshine and
So
the
good.
birds. It was awesome.
So good.
And
Yeah.
it's so good. And so what I learned through this strategic planning process is that the location and the existence of this building is truly extraordinary. It really does just write the whole foundation of the story. And we are so excited to be moving from renovation, which has
Yep.
been 25 years in the making, grit and hard work, and lots and I mean, hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours, I would guess. And to a functioning full center where we're working on income producing things and the business center and all types of things are really we're really in a transition phase, which is what the strategic planning has taught us.
No, Anna, I'm going to go a bit off script here for a second because, like, we have the board is attending a strategic planning meeting coming up.
Yep.
And this has
Hmm.
been on the calendar. First of all, getting everyone's schedule to be
Oh
like
my
so that we're
gosh.
all available has been and because we all
Herding
got
cats.
kids and herding cats, but we have like a Friday night plan. And you've been so involved in this. Like, what do you anticipate that meeting is going to be like? Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What's our goal for that evening, even?
Our goal is to get everyone on the same page and have everyone see somewhat of the same vision, because that's like super key. We can't move forward if unless everyone has the same idea of the structure that we're using moving forward. We want to be able to see all the parts. We want to be able to see all the possibilities. We want to see, traditional strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Like what are we doing and what should we watch out for? And we've brought on a consultant to help us do that. But there's a lot of a lot of great minds in the room that will be in the room, both current and former board members and all kinds of people who really are invested in this place we call Spring Creek. So that's what we're doing is we're going to break it down into parts so that it's a
Yep.
little bit easier because it's such a big thing. But we're going to talk about each one and try to get everyone aligned and understanding exactly what we're doing so that moving forward is um, not easy but clear.
Are there any like particular? And again, Anna and I bounce ideas back and forth about what we're going to talk about. And I'm sorry, you got me like thinking, and I'm going to be like throwing new ideas at
Love
you here.
it. Go for it. Go
Off
for it. I'm
script.
ready. I'm ready.
But like, are there any like big key items that are like you're really excited to delve into in particular? Okay, like we got this big phase 3 business center launch happening, which we're going to be talking to Alice about coming up. Once that business center's open, okay, that's all great. Now what? Like, what are some of the big things that we're looking to do?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that pops into my head is creating the financial plan so that this building is here for generations.
Yeah,
So, financial sustainability and efficiency and perpetuity. Like, how are we going to do this?
yeah,
And we've had discussions upon discussions and we've pulled in ideas. And so, really, for me, that's the key is like, how do we make this amazing, historic center of our community? Not insulated, but protected, strengthened,
mhm,
connected to the resources both in and out of county, in and out of state, in and out wherever. How do we make this an exemplar for other rural community centers who are trying to do the same thing? We're all trying to do an immense amount with volunteers
yeah,
and not enough resources. So, where are the resources coming from? Where can we get more? We've had excellent grants and people writing grant proposals and things like that for us. So, we've been really fortunate, which is how we've been able to renovate a lot of the building. Um, and also blood, sweat, tears of local folks fundraising and doing
mhm,
yard sales and chili cook-offs and year after year after year,
yeah,
and so that's what we're doing is we're looking at like where we are and
yeah.
saying, okay, how do we, for our children and our children's children, how do we give a roadmap so that this keeps working?
I'd say that's definitely the thing that will set small towns apart from the city. Because in the city, there's more money, there's more
Yep.
resources.
Yep.
If there's an emergency, the emergency personnel are right there. Everyone's there to help you. Um, there's way more amenities. I mean,
Yeah.
when we bought land in Spring Creek, we're like, the grocery store is 40 minutes away. And yes, there's a volunteer fire department, but like, it's not like a quick 911 and then they're there a minute later. We really rely on each other. And so I'd say it sounds like while so much of what we're strategizing around is going to be the finances, it's at the end of the day, we need money to like sustain this
Yeah.
whole the building and the utilities and the bills and all that kind of stuff. But the other half of that is the personnel and the people. And even within our own board, we're realizing, okay, we need more bodies because we're everyone burns out. That's the biggest problem, I think, in becoming a board member is burnout. And it's really easy to do because you get really passionate, really excited. And like, I think even you and I have tapped out on a lot of stuff to be like, I don't have the bandwidth. I can't take on anymore. And one thing I think we're playing with is the idea that we just need more people. We need
Hmm.
more people. And there's a lot of people who are really there for their neighbors and they just don't know how to help. And so maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe some of the strategizing is around how to tap into like our networks as well.
Right. And so, the mission is to serve the community first and foremost. And so we're trying to make it um, a great place for families to be,
Mhm.
a great place for retirees to be, a great place for people in midlife to be. And that requires certain things. Like you said, there are some amenities here and there aren't some.
Mhm.
And so, how do we bridge that gap? Like, one of the ways that we're doing that in the business center is there'll be small telephone booths where you can have a telehealth conference if you want to. um, but also the networking is our greatest strength is from people being together. And we learned
Yes.
that during Hurricane Helene. And so we're trying to facilitate that through all the things that we're doing.
Oh yeah.
And, and I think that the people who have given us grants, large ones, do see that, right? It is you know, the advantage of it being a formal school building is that it was kind of built for people to congregate. There's a gym, there's large spaces for people to gather, and they've evolved into different purposes. But we have a library, thanks to some really dedicated folks. And so I think the magic of this building is so interesting because I moved here quite a long time ago when the building was nothing. It was really not, it was not open. I didn't see it with a fence around it. People told me there used to be a fence around it. But, over the years, I would look over as I would drive by or take the trash out or whatever and be like, wow, I'm really curious about what's going on in there. And it has just exploded into something where there's just so much going on. There's a 4-H club, there's people having birthday parties, weddings, baby showers, in our gymnasium. And it's really the I grew up in a town where everything was in walkable reach, and it feels like the town is in this building. And
Yeah.
so I find a magic in that. I find a really cool aspect of that. My kid is growing up in a very, very unique place.
Yes.
Um, and so, you know, we're trying to spur on economic development because that's one of the most challenging things here, is to how do you work out here and make a living? Because you can homestead so much,
Yeah.
you can remote work a little bit,
Yeah.
like you and I do, but we're trying to solve this puzzle for folks. Is really like the top level is like how do you sustain yourself and live the life you want out here because it is magic. Some
It
people have
is.
Airbnbs, some people make bread, like it depends on what you decide to do.
And it's funny you mentioned like how do we live out here? How do we work out here? I don't think people realize that we have pretty much the fastest internet in the world. We have
Oh
fiber
my
optic.
gosh. Oh, good.
It's great. That's why we saw this because it's like you dream of living off grid or homesteading or whatever, but in your mind you're like you're going to be isolated. It's going to be how do you work? And so many of us, unless you're a profession where you have to, like a doctor, or, you know, you have to actually go into a place. We can just work remotely, or we can do online meetings. But then most places that are remote, you can't do that. You're on satellite
Right.
or whatever it is.
And I lived here when the internet was terrible
I
for
don't know.
decades.
You
And
commuted, right? You went into Asheville.
yeah,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time commuting, and really the advent of the internet and Hurricane Helene brought our community together in such a powerful way that it was almost breathtaking. It was, it was hard to meet neighbors because everyone had their own lives and everyone was doing what they were doing. And then suddenly everyone was together and then everyone had internet and it was like, like it just
Yeah.
all, I don't know, some kind of alchemy happened. And for me, anyways, maybe it happened for other people at different times, but it did for me.
That hurricane, the silver lining was that we all congregated together. And my hope is that phase 3, this business center, will kind of be that again, because it's nice to see people using the community center, but
Yeah.
there's now, I mean, I've walked through recently because it's almost, the renos are like almost done. Our party
Oh,
is November 1,
not like your
and it's
farmhouse, though. You got a
not
little
like
bit
a
ways to
house,
go.
which will never happen. Um, It's so nice, and it's such beautiful space, and we're trying to make it really accessible and a really nice place to work, and the Wi-Fi, and, if we can congregate, and I'd love to, the reason I bring this up is, Anna, you, you work out of Hatch a lot of days in Asheville. I'd love to hear a bit of your experience in Hatch, because it'll be a kind of a similar setup. Why you like leaving the house? Because you could really work from anywhere, right? You could work from
Yeah,
home technically. Why do you
yeah,
go into Hatch?
and I
And
do.
this will be the membership at the community center. It'll kind of be the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there is a very real benefit to getting out of your home environment to focus. And also to congregate, to meet other people who are trying to do the same thing. I do a lot of networking at Hatch Co-working downtown. And my daughter happens to go to school in town, which is why I chose Hatch. And so it provides, well, I call Hatch my adult library. And I don't mean it in a weird way, but
No,
it's
no.
more like everyone's in there focusing and quiet. And I used to love libraries as a kid. Like they
Mm,
were just sacred places to me of quiet and learning and peace. And Hatch is the same way. But it's a little bit more bustling and exciting because they have events and other things. But there's a real community there. The tagline is not just co-working, it's community. And so what I feel like I'm really excited because there's a classroom, there's a value-added kitchen, there's co-working spaces,
now
there's
we're talking
offices.
about the center now, community
Yeah, we're
center.
talking about
Yeah.
Spring Creek. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's gonna be all this stuff at Spring Creek, and, I can see a year from now, I can see the connections and the ideas and all that stuff happening because it started to happen at our community markets and our events and things like that, but when you have people come together every day for a common purpose of making a living
Yeah.
and doing it just next to each other, you don't have to be doing the same thing. There
Yeah.
is an alchemy there that you cannot duplicate unless you have it. And so I'm just super excited to see Spring Creek become this model economic hub for a rural center that just could be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the market and how that's growing as well. We have, during the warm weather months, once a month we have this Spring Creek community market right on the lawn of the center. And what started out with just a few booths and mostly artisans, now we have someone selling bread, and now we have the Madco Food Coalition, which we're trying to schedule them to come onto our show as well. And they're your fruits and veggies at better prices than Ingles, that are like all organic from local farmers. And you're like, man, when you build it, what is that movie where it's like, you'll build it, they will come? It's like a,
Yeah, when you build it, they will come. That's our generation, right?
yes,
Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams, calling it out.
yes.
Yes.
That's what the center is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, and it's I've seen the community market, just those people are so stalwart, the few people who started it, and but now it's grown and grown and grown, and I was so glad to see the Food Coalition, take up a booth there, and they've really just taken off because the produce, we have to show a picture of the produce in the video. It's just, it's
Yes.
amazing. It's like, wow,
Gorgeous.
this is all grown around here. And
Yeah.
I think what everyone's invested in is resiliency. They're invested in feeling safe and resilient and
Yeah.
comfortable and fed and educated and resourced in their own place where they choose to live. And I don't know if there's any better updated American dream than that right
Yeah.
now.
I completely agree. Well, I mean, Anna, are there any other cool projects going on right now that we want to tell anyone about? I know Appalachian Memory Project, we're still dabbling into that. The Spring Creek book is coming out soon, am I right?
Yes, the first copies have been shipped to an undisclosed location. No, they've
Ah,
been shipped. Been shipped, and they'll be here soon.
and we're talking
And
to Donna Ray soon, aren't we? Yeah,
yes, we are talking to Donna Ray, who is the coordinator for the project.
that's right.
And the Appalachian Memory Project has been partially funded by a digital literacy grant by Dogwood Health Trust.
That's right.
And we have put a good deal of funds into creating jobs that are of a digital nature. That was part of the grant. And the Appalachian Memory Project is part of that. In our first volume of book, collecting the stories and the memories and the history of Spring Creek is coming out, and we'll be able to buy it soon on the Spring Creek, our website, on the Spring Creek Community Center website. And that's the pinnacle of the example of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring opportunities in,
Yeah.
to showcase the specialness of this area, but also, like I said, in, increase the economic capacity of our region, the training of our people, and have more to offer, for ourselves and for others.
You can see we've already dropped a few suggestions about some of the episodes you guys are going to be seeing coming up. If you are a local business owner in Western North Carolina, a maker, a creative, working on any really cool projects right now, or have a story to share that you think will inspire our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. So definitely send us a note. Our email is info@WNCHeartBEAT.com.
If you this is the fourth episode that you're listening to, thanks for being with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving us your time, and tell us what you think. Please go to Google, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, and give us a review and let us know what you think. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know if there are people we should know, the people we should interview, the people who are keeping the pulse vibrant and alive in Western North Carolina. Those are the folks that we want to talk to. So please let us know. And it's so fun to talk with you, Allie.
Absolutely. And if you're new here and you're listening to us for the first time and you've still made it all the way through this episode, thank you for listening. Welcome. The whole thing with our channel is that we're trying to share the really cool work happening across Madison County and beyond, like all of Western North Carolina. So just in review, we're going to be talking about more upcoming about the business center launch in our community center. We're going to be talking about the Appalachian Memory Project, the Matco Food Coalition.
There's so much to talk about. Please stick with us and you won't be disappointed. That's for sure.
Thanks for listening and for being part of this heartbeat that keeps Western North Carolina alive. We'll see you next week.